All right, guys, this is Sumner. I'm coming to you from actually a small cabin in the mountains right now, but I just got off a call with our team and they've given me early access to the Land Insights data platform, which I'm going to share here. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through just kind of a very raw, unedited look at what we've been working on over the last few months. Now, we've been working tirelessly on this for months, and we're finally getting to the point where we've got um, a data platform that we're using internally. So we're using it for ourselves, and this will be being released November 19th publicly to our Land Insights users. Now, we did an early launch and we had a boatload of people sign up, dozens and dozens of people sign up to get access to the unlimited data platform. So let me just kind of refresh you and jog your memory. Land Insights is an end-to-end platform for marketing. One of the obvious things that was on the roadmap was to add the ability to have access to all ownership data inside of Land Insights. And there's a lot of downstream benefits that come from that. So if you're a Land Insights user, automatically you get access to ownership data at 6 cents a record. It comes with a bunch of free scrubs and additional kind of bonuses like that if you're using the Land Insights data platform. We also do have an unlimited data platform for folks that want to join that. It's more affordable than anything that exists out there that I'm aware of, which is $4,500 a year for unlimited data. So, in essence, if you're doing over what, like 75,000 data pulls a year, moving over to the unlimited data platform obviously makes the most sense. Now, you've got to be a Land Insights user to have access to that. So, something to think about. Now, what's really cool about Land Insights is when we started, it was just a database that covered all of the US for market selection, and the price hasn't changed, right? It was still 500 a month then, it is still 500 a month now, and yet over time, all we do is add more features and make this thing even more powerful, and yet the price is unchanged. And we're pretty dead set on keeping the standard subscription at that price really for forever. That's our goal, unless inflation does something crazy in the world. So check this out too. I actually just found this on the ground. Total non sequitur, but wow, how incredible is that? I found that on my morning walk this morning. All right, guys. Like I said, this is a raw, unedited look. That's how I do. If you guys aren't on the Land Insights tool yet, I recommend just go and you can go and get a demo. We'll kind of demo and show you the tool in real time. I put it down below landinsights.co/apply. It's on a sales call. It's just really a demo of the platform and we'll show you the kit and caboodle on this thing. Let me share my screen and we will get kicked off here, y'all. So we're going to go here. We're going to go window. We're going to go here. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. You guys will see we're inside of Land Insights. This is actually totally unrelated, but we're releasing actually this coming week. So a few days from when this is being recorded. Our listing photo editing tool. This is a free little addition that we've added in. One of the things that we've noticed, and again, this is talk about a non sequitur. This is a total non sequitur, but one of the things that we've noticed is that there's so many people out there that are using Land Insights that are picking all the right markets, they're scrubbing their data, they're doing all the right things, but their listings stink. And we're seeing liquidity starting to dry up in a lot of these markets, right? It's getting harder to sell land, especially if you're in a bad market. It's never been more important to be working what we call liquidity pools. We just had one of our best offer months ever last month. I think we had like 30 plus offers on the MLS, where I'm seeing a lot of people struggling. Now that comes down to working on the right markets. And of course, we price our inventory well, but we also market our inventory well. In fact, this is a photo that we edited on here from one of our listings. So this is a free additional tool inside of Land Insights just to ensure that everyone is doing everything correct end to end with their marketing. And again, this is just kind of another thing that we've built out for our users. Anyways, let's hop into the Parcel viewer. So this is the very beta version right now. This is the version that we're using internally. And I'm going to show you guys two things here today. Okay. And I'm some of this, frankly, I'm surprised that I'm even sharing, but I'm just so eager to get it out there. And frankly, I also am open to your guys' feedback, right? We've got hundreds of users on our platform. So of course we'll take their feedback into consideration. But you as perhaps someone that's on the fence that says, Sumner, if this tool had A, B, and C, it would be a no-brainer for me. I'd absolutely join. It's funny. We actually just got a message to the other day. We've been seeing that a lot of really advanced land investors have been moving over to Land Insights in the last few months, which wasn't the case before, right? Like Land Insights was really a tool that was, if we look at our user base, was more concentrated in the middle of the market, like not newer land investors, not super seasoned. A lot of the seasoned guys and gals, they were pretty dead set on just working in markets that had, already proven themselves or markets that they've been a part of for a long time. Um, and those markets have started to dry up. They started to become a whole lot worse, and they're starting to kind of feel the effects of that. Now, I don't know if I can share my screen and if you guys will see this. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I'm going to read this off here. We just had a gentleman join Land Insights yesterday, and this is what the message that he shared actually publicly in our Discord. This guy's super advanced. I think he'll probably do about 7 figures this year. It's his second year in the business, but he's pretty damn advanced. He said, finally pulled the trigger on Land Insights. I like that it's a quarterly commitment. So if you find the tool unessential, you're not locked in for a year. I think if you're marketing at scale, you'll find this tool is pretty essential in your business. You see other people pushing software that is subpar in this space to monetize their audience. So I was skeptical at first. This isn't some pack and play white labeled software. I truly can't imagine the man hours that went into this thing. The fact that you guys have a full course on how to select markets and how to use the tool is great, highly polished, and it really does reveal good quality markets you can target. Software delivers on what it says it will do. Great job on the products, fellas. So yeah, it's just interesting. We've seen this kind of mass migration of advanced land investors starting to wake up to the fact that, hey, your little Lavaca County, Texas might have been good 2 years ago. It ain't good now. And that team of VAs that you have that are trying to select markets, well, they have bias, right? They're locked in. They're only looking at maybe 10% of the US. It's never been more important to see the full picture. Anyways, all right, getting on a diatribe here. So we'll go over here. Let's just use, let's call it Kershaw County, right, in South Carolina. Again, this is the very beta outline. This is what we're currently using internally. Now, again, I'll show you guys the actual kind of more fully fleshed out designs, and we're still going through heavy iterations. I mean, we've already had a team of 3 engineers on our team as it stands for building Land Insights. And the guy that left that comment, he's not wrong. The man hours that have gone into this thing is ungodly. In fact, the amount of money that's gone into this thing is ungodly, right? Engineers are not cheap. But for this project in particular, we brought on an additional engineer and an additional UI designer. Now, this was initially designed by our engineering team, so it's not as pretty as what we wanted. It's getting a whole lot better. So we'll show you some of the actual designs that we built out through our UI designer, which I think are just beautiful. And I think it's just absolutely amazing. And now for me, when you're building a product, everyone thinks about features, right? Features, features, features. I actually think that's the wrong way to think about things. What I think about is I think about usage. Okay. So what do I mean by usage? Well, one, I think a platform that is bloated with features, people don't use a lot of those features, and therefore those features are kind of irrelevant. So having too many features and bloating the tool with features is silly. When I look at a lot of the data platforms that exist today, in my opinion, for land investors, they suffer from feature bloat, right? There's too many features there. And you use maybe 5% of them. That's not beneficial to the user, which for us, we're just focusing on land investors, right? This isn't for land developers. This isn't for realtors. Like, this is just for land investors. So we get to chop a lot of that feature bloat. And the next thing I think about is, what's the user interface like? Because if the user interface isn't a 10 out of 10, I don't care if those features are amazing. People don't know how to interface with them or find them or use them. Again, they're pretty much useless. So usage is really the metric that I want to think about. I want to ensure that the features that are there, they are used because they're relevant. And the way those features are designed, that interface is really easy to play with, and it actually gets people to engage with them. So this was all built out by our team internally. It's getting a whole heck of a lot better. Um, One of the really cool things is here, you'll see all of the market metrics for these properties, right? Like, you can see all of the market activity here. We're taking that to another level, which I'll show in the designs here in a second. But yeah, pretty darn nifty. This is where we're at. This is about a month outdated. So we've kind of been on this platform internally for a while. And you guys can come over here. You can say, hey, show me 81935. Oh, sorry, 89135. 135, my old zip code, bing, bum, bong. So it'll show you, hey, here's the zip code. So you guys can search by zip codes. You guys can search by coordinates, address, parcel numbers, owners. We've got a really slick auto suggest feature in here that's really cool. And an auto recognition feature, which says, hey, if you plug in coordinates, it'll actually know, and you don't have to use this drop down menu, which is really, really nifty. Layer toggles, map layers, tools, you got your filters, your searches here. So yeah, pretty damn awesome. This is what we're using internally in our own business. But let me port over and show you guys kind of like the 1.0 version of some of these designs. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, so you'll see here we've got these kind of horizontal lines. Now, these horizontal lines are representing iterations for different parts of the tool. So like this is our navigation iteration, right? And so you'll see this is where we started. This was our first pass on the navigation iteration. Then you come over here. So now you can start to see these kind of layers breaking down. So now you'll see when you highlight over them, it's going to show you the data layers, the tools, the map layers, the zoom in, zoom out. Then we'll pour it over. Now I'll show you the auto suggest. So again, when you come here, you can just plug in, let's say, an address, and it'll a understand, hey, this is an address. So it'll do this drop down for you, and then it'll auto suggest what it thinks it is. You can see we made a new iteration here on the drop down menu. So when you actually click on this, you'll see this is what it's going to kind of expand on and show you here. This is what the drop down menu on the help section looks like. Drop down menu if you guys are trying to select one of these fields here. Again, an improvement on the map layer drop down menu as well. What it looks like searching counties versus parcel number. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of other gargly goop in here, but we're going to show you guys what this looks like here in a second. These are just kind of rough mock-ups, but I'm going to show you guys the details here as we go a little bit deeper. Okay. Now bear with me. I think this is hopefully that this is interesting on some level, both through our users, non-users, and really the reason I'm filming this is perhaps to crowdsource input, right? I've always said that Land Insights is a project that's been built by the people. It's for the people. It's by the people, right? And I think that's why we've built such an amazing tool. Frankly, Land Insights is in a league of its own in terms of the features, but also I think the UI is in a league of its own. But a lot of that's been crowdsourced from our users, right? So, okay, so we're in the parcel filter section here. So you guys can see you've got your parcel search bars, your owners, your scrubbing, your structure, your skip tracing, your other. So all of that's kind of in the parcel field here when you're searching property. So you have access to a lot of different drop downs that kind of tie you into the ecosystem of Land Insights. Like, right, if you want to go use the scrubbing features, bam, it's already in there when you're searching for your parcel. Same thing, if you want to use our skip tracing features, bam, it's already in there for you guys. Toggles for owner information here, out of state, out of county. There's actually a few more that we're adding. There's actually, I would say, a lot more that we're adding in terms of filters. This is just kind of a rough outline. Give you guys kind of a sense of the UI here. So let's say we're removing duplicates. You know, hey, I want to remove landlocked properties. Toggle that on. Hey, I want to remove duplicate owners. You say, well, do you want to remove similar parcel, larger parcel? You guys can see the wetlands, the flood zone search here based off of percentages. Road frontage search is coming soon, which is quite exciting. Quite literally, you can say, hey, show me a property that's got 2,000 feet of road frontage. And what that does, well, that puts you in a pretty damn good spot for finding subdivides, right? Structure searches here. Now, I've seen a lot of the data platforms out there. The problem is they weren't built for land investors, right? Land investors just happened to use them because there weren't really any alternatives out there. And those tools have features, or not features, but have like search criteria that, again, just aren't relevant to what we do. And so there's a lot of feature bloat there, like I was talking about before. I see here the skip tracing. So you've got an option for no skips, standard skips, premium skips, which you guys don't know we've added kind of a tiered based skipping system inside of Land Insights. And that's there currently. Standard skips just gives you kind of, hey, the one person, give me their contact information, cell phone, stuff like that. The premium is going to pull all relatives, show you the age, pull all emails, pull multiple phone numbers for every person. Both are relevant, but they're not always relevant at the same time, or they're not always relevant in terms of all data should be pushed through one option. So for us in our business, like a lot of times a standard skip is all we need. But let's say we're trying to hunt down a relative, we're going to go with the premium. Or let's say that we're trying to cold email someone, we're going to go with the premium, things like that. Okay, so others, there's like school district searches here and a bunch of gargly groups that may not be relevant for you here. So this is where things start to get interesting. You see the actual parcel filtering, search by subdivision, includes zip, zoning type. Again, everything that you would need as a land investor and absolutely nothing that you wouldn't. Showing results here, show you the total cost for everything. Again, some of this stuff is still very much in its early iterations, but really, really cool. So you can see like when we go and search our data, this is how our results populate. You can actually see there's a kind of a pre-populated image of the property here. When you're using a tool like Data Tree, let's say you go pull 1,000 records hypothetically, you've got this weird drop-down menu, but it doesn't give you really any intel on the property. Then you got to click on that thing, then you got to go exit back out. It's so cumbersome. Or the fact that if I have in excess of 1,000 records, it doesn't populate on the screen. We've always said, I think all of that's absolutely nonsense, and we're just not about that. Same thing with a very clear cost breakdown, right? Shows you exactly what the cost breakdown is, and it itemizes those costs for you. You can see if you are going to, if you're pulling data from Land Insights, landlocked scrubbing is free, and you get 50% discounts on all of our additional scrub features, road frontage scrub, wetland scrub, flood zone scrub, all those things like that, and the highest level of accuracy out there. The reason that we actually move forward with spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy access to all this ownership data was initially just to improve our scrub features, right? When you own the data, you're pinging your servers and you've got that information. And so doing the scrubbing is actually substantially easier to have higher accuracy. Where it stands today, we've got to ping multiple databases. It gets really convoluted. And sometimes those databases tell you two different things. And of course, it affects the quality um, of your scrubbing, right? So save this is what this kind of save list of view looks like. Receive email notifications when new parcels match your search. Pretty damn interesting, right? All right, let's go down. And I'm going to show you guys one more important area. Now, here's kind of what the polygon looks like. Pretty interesting. You can do like multiple polygons or polygons within polygons. So, for example, hey, I want this polygon, but exclude this little area within the polygon, things like that, which again, seem obvious to me, but unfortunately, not everyone else that builds these tools finds these obvious. Here's where things start to get interesting. So, you guys are going to see the parcel detail screen here, right? You've got a parcel highlighted. You can go show me, hey, show me the data layers here. But this is just what I absolutely love. Just this quick snapshot that gives you everything you need to know, nothing that you don't need to know. You can see that she owns 12 properties. You got parcel owner, structure, metrics, miscellaneous. So slick, man. You got primary action, secondary action. I'm not going to talk about those here today. Though. Those are placeholders, but there's some really cool things that we're adding in for the primary action, secondary action that are going to kind of quick jump you to really important features. One of those features doesn't exist today, so it's not coming out in the launch in November, but it's coming out kind of soon after. So you actually won't see that in the first launch here. Port you over to Google Earth or Google Maps if you want. And as you scroll down, it's going to take you down to the parcel owner, structure, metrics, miscellaneous. And we actually have another field that's being added here, which I won't talk about here today. One of the really cool things, again, is we can see all those market metrics on top of this. We can see sold comps within the area. Again, there's a really cool feature kind of that's coming to this primary action field, which kind of ties into some of the stuff. It's going to be a bit mind blowing. What's really interesting too is when you're highlighting over any of this stuff, you can actually go and copy this. Now, seems simple, right? Like, why would that not be available in every tool? Sometimes I want to go and copy over the APN, then go put it inside my CRM or what have you. Problem is, a lot of these won't let you do it. It's kind of, or you got to highlight them. It's cumbersome. So when you hover over, you'll have the option to add that to your clipboard. Again, really, really small feature, but those are the kinds of features that make a UI delicious, that make a UI feel like a pleasure to use. And when it's a pleasure to use, more people use it, which obviously on our side is an incentive. But you, as the user, you have a better experience. You don't leave the tool saying, "God, this thing's so annoying. Why does it always do this?" And so you ultimately, hopefully, this aids you in your day to day, and it's not a hindrance. And a lot of these tools that I use today, which I won't name names, sometimes they freaking piss me off. Like myself or my team leaves it feeling worse than when we started. Our goal is when anytime someone leaves Land Insights, I want them to feel better than when they started because the result was so good, the process was so easy, it took them less time. I really think about it on the level of an emotional state, right? Now, this is just land data. It doesn't seem that important, but it is because this is a tool that you use every day. In fact, you probably would use it every hour of your day, especially with some of the features that are coming out in Q1 of 2025. This is an everyday tool. And so it needs to leave you in a better state than when you started. Little things like this, not having to manually highlight, but instead having it just copied to your clipboard, I think it's just an amazing feature. I think it's really, really important. Small detail, really important outcome. You guys can kind of see as we extend this menu down what some of the stuff looks like. You can see the chain of ownership, recent sales. There's some new things that are being added in with chain of title stuff. So these aren't all the columns. We've added about 15 new columns as of yesterday that aren't updated within this a design breakdown here. Really, really cool. You can see again the county metrics here. I love this. I think it's so awesome just to have that bam right there for you. And there's some more metrics that are being added in. Again, this chain of ownership is just absolutely beautiful for me to see. Length of ownership. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's something again as simple as the ownership length. Most tools think about it in terms of last sale date. So they'll tell you, well, it was sold in 1998. You do the math. I say, no. You don't care the year it was sold. You care about the length of ownership in years and months. So let me deliver it to you that way, right? Again, see subtleties that just make it a pleasure to use, an absolute joy to use. And I just find that to be so important. So here's a little more breakdown of some of the owner information. And yeah, guys, that is it in terms of some of the new design features coming out really, really excited. I mean, I'm just over the moon. You guys can see what an improvement it is from kind of V1 beta mockup to, we'll call this V1.1 beta mockup. And again, this is still in its rough draft stage, right? This is still very, very, very early in terms of the iterations. And so they're only getting better. And quite literally every day, we are building out a new one of these horizontal columns, okay? Making a new iteration, and so we're absolutely chugging along. I mean, the manpower that we have on this tool, I would say it's bigger than any land tool that exists out there in terms of the butts and seats and the capability of the butts in these seats. I mean, world class players are on this team. People that in the standard open marketplace salary would be 250, $350,000 a year for one engineer. And that's the kind of talent that we're bringing to this, because I'm so serious about bringing the best product to market. I never, ever, ever want to put my hands on something that isn't world class, that isn't a 10 out of 10. Now, Land Insights didn't start as a 10 out of 10, right? It was a 10 out of 10 for the time, and it's always relative to your capabilities and relative to the market. But we've gotten better, and our kind of level of what we consider to be great has raised, and we're bringing that to market. Again, it's at no additional cost. I'm a big believer that if you've been a part of this platform from the beginning, you should be continuously rewarded with better and better features. It's all we ever do. We ship new improvements nearly every week to this tool at no additional cost to our users. We're so dedicated to making this a tool that no one ever leaves. That's our business model, right? Some people are in the business of saying, well, I'm going to release tools and charge you more and upsell you, upsell you, upsell you. And that's fine. Right? That's for some people. The business that I'm in is saying, I want you to stay for 20 years. Now, the way I'm going to do that is by adding more features that are free. Just a different strokes, different folks type thing. But if you've been a part of this tool from the beginning, I want you to be rewarded over and over and over and over again. And what's funny is when folks get on demo calls with Land Insights, they say, like, look, hey, look, this is awesome. I want to talk to a Land Insights user and kind of get their unbiased experience. And seriously, without fail, every time they'll talk to someone that's maybe been on the tool for a year, right? And that person says, look, when I joined this tool, it was truly 1/10 of what it is today. And at that point, $500 a month was still worth it. It was still a worthwhile trade-off. At this point, you are an absolute dummy sandwich if you don't see how 10x the value of what it once was when it was worth $500 a month at the same price is not a win-win. So, anyways, guys, hope this video has been helpful. I'm getting a little too fired up, but I love this stuff. This has been one of the most fun projects I've ever been a part of. It's been such a new challenge for me. It's been a new game to learn. And I've had to learn a lot about what it means to actually build a tool that's valuable to people, to build a tool that where folks want to stay there and they don't want to leave, a tool where people want to refer other people to it, a tool that leaves people in a better position when they exit off the tool, a tool that has a real ROI in their business. I mean, it's been a new game for me. It's a new challenge. It's a new puzzle to try to figure out. And we're not perfect by any means, but I think we're getting a whole lot better. And I'm so excited to release this to you guys. November 19th. Put it on your calendars. The world and land is going to go gangbusters. All right. Bye, guys.